Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. Today it's looking a little more like Manchester, England out here than Orlando, Florida. We're still out here though, and we're going to go over the driver and a few common errors that I see players make early in their swing, in their setup, in that first move away that really make it harder to hit good golf shots. So with the driver setup, obviously because we're looking to hit it on the up and be shallower with that angle of attack, we have to set up a little bit differently anyway. So as most of us know, we're going to have that forward ball position. Now, because of just our postural patterns and as humans how we go around doing things, the error that I see a lot of players make in their setup, first of all, from just a body positioning standpoint, is when they go to put their trail hand on, they actually push the rib cage open a little bit, and the pelvis will often get a little open as well. So all of a sudden, if I show you down the line, instead of having their arms nicely matched in setup and the rib cage fairly neutral to the or parallel to the target line, what they actually got is they look a little like this. You see a lot of left forearm, and you see this right arm very much on top, and the rib cage and body itself aligned a little left. So I see this one really regularly. So what I advise players to do is to get square to the target, and then from there go left arm or lead arm only, and just learn to keep the rib cage quiet or not move as the right hand goes on. And you can see from there you can get those arms matched up quite nicely. Okay, so from face on, I really like this as a reference. I find it helps most people, is that once that right hand is on, the rib cage is still, if I put the club in my sternum there, just behind the ball. Okay, that's going to help us get that low point just behind the ball and hit the ball on the up. All right, instead of if I get in here and then I put the right hand on and that rib cage gets a little in front, now I've added a steepener to my golf swing, which is obviously anything steep is not going to really help with the driver. In addition, what I'll also see players do is they'll get in and get that right hand on, and then they'll be aware that the rib cage is now ahead of, or the sternum is now ahead of the belt buckle, and then they'll tilt this way, and that just adds even more to the complications because you're now compressing this lower spine, which as well is not gonna help with the movement. So it all comes back to, can we get set up really square at first, and can we get that right hand on without pushing that rib cage open? Sometimes a player will be doing pretty good, and then when they look at the target, they'll rotate to the target, and when they come back, that rib cage is ahead as well. So just even when the way you look at the target from here, remember to keep that rib cage nice and tight, turn through the neck, so when I'm back, we're back in that position there in setup. All right, the other common one that I see with players with the driver is just too much shift away really early. And the reason I'm going over that second is because that's usually in response to a poor setup. So if I was to set up and compress that lower spine and get a bit open, my body in the very first stages is going to look for a way to create rotation because I've literally reduced it in that setup position. So I'll see this a lot. Players will set up poorly, and then you'll see this big shift early to the right in the golf swing, which is, it's just not necessarily, you're getting right too early, which is then likely to get you to move left too early as well, which again is a steepness, so you have to shallow through the shot. So just a lot of value and a lot can come from, one, making sure that your rib cage is in a good position, two, making sure your arms match in setup there, and then three, in the start of your swing, most people I find can stay left a little longer, like almost feeling even pressure to around here, and then slowly load up to the top, just from an energy transfer standpoint or a pressure transfer standpoint. Okay, so let's see if we can get in there with a routine and hit one. So I like to line the club up with my right hand. I'll take my stance, make sure my ball position is good, make sure I'm the right distance from the ball. A lot of the time with the driver, I see too many players get too much over it. More flexion we're in, the harder it is to rotate. We can stand taller with the driver. You'll see that often with good players. So I'm aiming the club, I'm getting the right distance from the ball. Then I put my left hand in, checking my rib cage position, right hand on. And then from there, I'm going to look at the target and make sure that I don't change my position there at address.
Pretty good, bro.
So there were a few simple things to focus on with your driver. Often when players come in wanting help with their tee shots, I will typically have to go over one or a few of those different areas, and they'll see performance improvement right away. So hopefully it helps some of you out there with your game. If you're enjoying the content, please remember to hit subscribe. Also go to ianmellorgolf.com and sign up for the newsletter.